So, hello traders, very good morning and welcome to today's live market profile and order flow trade analysis by Tradeducation. This is episode 180 and before I share today's analysis, I would just like to go through the quick disclaimer that trading involves substantial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Also, the information which I'm sharing is for educational purposes only and cannot be used for any trade related activity. Okay. So let's quickly look at yesterday's auction. Let's study the yesterday's auction using market profile and let's see if there are any potential auction development paths for today from intraday trade perspective. Okay. So let me just quickly share my screen and first let me jump to the daily time frame or higher time frame charts. Okay. So here what we can see is so day before yesterday, that is Friday, we had an outside bar, okay, and it just touched the 20 EMA. So this was acting as the level of support. So what I was expecting is there would be one more bounce back and we might see continuation to the higher side, trying to tag this particular, because this is a strong selling zone, okay. This particular zone is still intact, and buyers, they still need to, pierce this supply zone, okay. So overall, my trade plan was, yesterday I shared that if the high gets broken on the first 5 minutes, I'll be going long. If the low gets broken, I'll be going short. The high did got broke, and then around the close of yesterday, that's where sellers stepped in. So the yesterday's high is also not a very good high, and then sellers stepped in and then they took the entire auction. So basically, the stops which were built here, then we had Hoover lows, then we had one more structured Hoover lows. So there were multiple stops which were built. Also, if you see, this auction is just exactly, I would say, just a couple of points away from, the 9th of September. So this is the 9th of September auction. And it just, it didn't, I thought that it would clear the low, but it did not clear. So today, what I'm expecting is so this is the low. So what I'm expecting is whether the low is getting cleared or not. Okay, so that is the overall anticipation. Yesterday, second thing is, it was more of a liquidation break, a long liquidation break. This was a short covering rally, followed by a long liquidation break. I'm just now I'll be just monitoring what's happening around the lows and the close. So these are the two monitoring references, which I'll be having. And based on that, today my expectation is we had a imbalance. So I'm expecting some sort of balancing activity today. If we see one more imbalance, then the odds are higher that we will be tagging the 200 EMA. Okay. So that's from the daily chart. Okay. Secondly, from the volume profile chart, so this is the 9th of September auction and this is the low. So this is what I was talking of. So from this low to this low, okay, so this is just 25 points away. So odds are high that we will be tagging this low and we might see some continuation to the lower side, because this is where I'm expecting some sort of reversal and then try to tag the highs. Okay, so let me do one thing. As we got rejected from the top of the balance, we have entered the bigger balance. So let me do one thing. Let me also add yesterday's data point. And right now, if you see, this is the low volume area node. This is the low volume area node. We have an HVN here. We have an HVN here. Also, there are some HVNs here. So let me do that. If I add the entire auction, yeah. So it's better I separate it into different auctions, so that way it's pretty clear. Okay. So this is one balance and this is another balance. So one of the reference area is the value area low, that is 11,320. If the auction opens around this, so what I'm expecting is if it opens above this should act as the level of support. Some sort of reversal should be seen and we should go higher, tagging the value area low. Second is what I'm expecting is if the auction opens below this reference line, then I'll be expecting this to act as a level of resistance and then continue to the lower side, tagging this VPOC. Okay, 11,150. Okay, so these are some of the trade plans which I'm having from positioning perspective. Okay, order flow, nothing much. VSA chart, there was an HV in here, and if you see, these are where buyers were present. So I'll remove this zone now. But overall, good selling activity came yesterday. I was actually looking for it to tag the HVN, but this did not happen. And there were some good VSA signals followed by good delta divergence. Okay, so let me minimize this and let's now jump to the market profile chart. Okay, so what has happened is so one thing you should answer is why the auction went down. Okay, you should always answer that what happened was, so there is always a cause and effect. Okay, always there is a cause and effect. So the reason why this went down, or we had a good long liquidation break, the reason for that is simple. It's pretty easy. So first of all, let me add a rectangle. So for me, this is the level of support. Okay, and we had a sort of a retest. Okay, after this, so this was on the 9th of September. Okay, after this, what was happening is we first of all we had a gap of opening. There was this gap which was intact. So there was one anomaly which was pretty clear from here. Okay, then after the gap up, we had a balance. Then we had a sort of an imbalance or a double distribution. Then we had one more balance. Then we had a look above the balance and fail. Okay, then we had a sort of a double distribution. Then we had where the balance value area formed higher, and then yesterday is where the auction started. So you have to understand who was trading in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Okay, so this 7 and also this 8 days. So this 8 days of activity, you have to understand who was trading this. Because if buyers were coming, if buyers were strong, we should. It took 8 days, and on the 9th day is where a breakdown happened. Okay, so in this 8 days, whoever bought, they were weak players. Okay, so this is what the overall context is talking of. Because I was expecting, because buyers, they are coming in, but the auction is not going higher. And also, if you check from the daily volumes, if you see the volume here, then the volume here, volume. So every day the volume was more or less flat, or sometimes it increases, sometimes it decreases. Okay, so there was no confidence at all, and the buyers who were coming in, they were all sort of forced buying, and weaker players. Okay, so that's what happened yesterday. Yesterday, first of all, the high is also weaker because it's exactly around the close and also the half back level. Okay, so we have got one reference level here. We got one more anomaly, that is the PPOC. We got a couple of more anomalies, that is the G2 highs. Okay, so today what I'm expecting is first of all we have got structured lows. So again there are stop losses built. So I'm expecting the auction to close and clear all these anomalies and then see if we get a sort of a pullback or not. If we don't get a pullback, then I'll be staying away from trading. If I get a pullback, then I'll be seeing for any intraday nuances and then I'll be taking the trade. But today my plan is not to trade anything. I'm expecting a balanced move. Okay, so the auction has opened. So the auction has opened, if you see, within yesterday's range below the value area low, and this is a supply zone. So if I split this auction, so if you see this, so let me remove this. This is a supply zone, and this is the balance which I'm currently looking at. So what's going to happen is I'm expecting it to clear this low and this low, and there is one more reference level here, that is on 16th or 17th of August. So this is a reference line, but apart from that, there is no particular trade location which I'm seeing, apart from tagging the lows. Let me also jump to the volume profile chart and see if we are having some sort of clarity. Yeah, so now not much clarity. Order flow, good volume flow coming in. I'm waiting for the low to get tagged, this low and this low, the structured lows, because that's where again liquidity, market will look for liquidity. That's where stop loss, limit stop loss orders are there. In the meantime, guys, if you have got any comments, feel free to use the chat window. From the order flow perspective, sellers would be stepping in, momentum sellers would be stepping in, and if you see overall, there are good momentum sellers, lack of buyers, 3,000 contracts already traded. Okay, see the order flow chart, observe the sentiment. Are you able to gauge the sentiment looking from the order flow? Okay, so let's see whether the low is getting tagged or not. Momentum sellers are stepping in. Some anomalies on the higher side. Seeing if there are any comments. No comments yet. We are still 1 minute to go. The auction started 9:15. Current time is 9:18. So 2 minutes to go. So you have to understand who is buying here, why the auction halted here, and who is selling here. Always ask such questions before taking any trades. Are you seeing high confidence buyers or high confidence sellers? Which side do you think the weakness is there? So generally, what retail traders do is they see this as a big red candle, and they see that, oh, it's bearish, and they try to short, and this can be a trapped candle. So let it close. Don't take any immediate trades. Wait for the context to build. Overall context is negative, but wait for the context to be built. We got poor lows. Okay, there are some buying zones here. Overall delta has, so now you see this was the trap which I was talking of. Delta is now trying to turn positive. So let it chop. The market is definitely going to chop. So the first 5-minute candle, 7,000 contracts traded. The high is, there are zero order flow, and the low is also intact. So There are some anomalies on the higher side. This is where maximum buyers came in, 11,275 from the order flow chart. About 731, there are 731 trapped buyers. Sorry, 662 trapped buyers. And now again sellers are jumping in. Okay, see the sentiment now, see the tempo which is coming in. So the low is clear now. Okay, Google has launched Google Voice service. That's good. Okay, so let the low be tagged. So that was a trade location for today. And look at the tempo which is coming in. The low is tagged now. And if you see the overall same sort of 1000 volume difference, 1000 contract difference, further continuation to the downside, we need to see whether we get a follow through or not. Yes, we are getting a follow through. Let it tag the low. So I'm just looking at the auction, not taken any trades, let it fall. So you have to understand who is selling here and who is buying here. Try to analyze that. Okay, so the structured low is also getting tagged. I'm expecting one more push on the downside. It's exactly at the lows. So one more push I'm seeing should come with good tempo. So good volume flow, 7,000. I think it will cross more than that. Yes, it has already crossed. The first 5 minutes there were 7,000 volume. Yes, so this is the push which I was looking for on the downside. Let it go lower. And I'm just going through the volume profile chart. So we are around the balance low. So we need to see whether it's look below the balance and fail, or look below the balance and reverse, or look below the balance and continue. So the balance rules comes into the picture today for today's trading. Okay, so this is the push which I was looking for. Pretty good auction, sharp rejection. This is the second level, so let's see whether this gets tagged or not. Okay, so today it's the day where you have to wait and watch. So the second zone has also been tagged. So let me look at the VSA chart. You see this is again. So now is where I'm waiting for buyers to step in, and I'm expecting a reversal from this level. Okay. So now the trade which I'll be having is I'll be taking a long trade, or I'll be waiting for this VPOC level. So it's 11,144. So you can either take a long trade now, keeping your stop loss around the lows, or wait for the VPOC level. Let me just see the order flow numbers. Yeah. So now I'm expecting sellers to be exhausted. So long trade, keeping your first target around value area lows, or the halfback. So this is the what do you call it? Reward, and this is the risk. So 14 to 31. So 1:2 risk to reward. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting buyers to now step in. So that was the, let's see whether this low is getting intact or not. Okay, so with that I would like to end the today's session. I would request you to please to go through the earlier videos, and just observe the references which I've shared in today's videos. Also, if you're interested in the training sessions, you can there's a YouTube primer, sorry, check the YouTube description box below, and there is a primer course, market profile primer, which you can take. Okay, so with that, ending the session, and let's again catch up tomorrow and see how the auction develops. Take care and bye for now.